Hello guys, I'm Amy. This is my garden and I'm going to give you a tour, show you what I'm growing. I'm growing vegetables and flowers. So I'm still waiting for some things to come up, but there's a lot that's already going, as you can see. So come along with me and I'll show you. And it is the 19th of May today, for some context. Over here, I have my potatoes. This is my first patch. I have my potatoes, I have some earlies here, and then some main crop here. I already had to put some extra soil on just to build them up. I didn't do as many as last year because we weren't getting really a successful crop with the potatoes. I'm not sure if it's the soil or what. So if you have any advice, let me know. Over here we have our strawberries. My partner built this for me. So we have some layers because we used to have the strawberries here where the potatoes are. You can probably see some plants are still growing here. And they're already starting to flower out here. I think this is pretty cool. And we put the grass just to keep the moisture in and limit the weeds. So it's an experiment to see how they grow in the boxes. They were very good in the ground. Next we have one of my favorite beds. I have cabbage here. I have 6 plants and they're getting very big. Then I have broccolis, about 8, and then Brussels sprouts in the back, 4. Let me show you. I did have these under cover with fleece. You can see the difference. Beautiful. Some marigolds in between. Some broccoli. Some spinach in between. Broccolis. And over there in the back is our Brussels sprouts. Beside it here, we have carrots in buckets. That's an experiment because in the ground we weren't getting too good of carrots. I think the ground was too rough around here, too much rocks and stuff, so they weren't really growing very well. And I'll show you our next bed adjacent to it. This is my next bed. This is our white onions. There's a random garlic in there from last year. All of these are white onions, so we use a lot of them, so that's why we planted most of them. And we have our little scarecrow just because the birds were trying to eat them when they were small, but they're okay now. And the one beside it is the red onions, a little bit less, but still a decent amount for 2 people. So there are all the onions. And then beside the onions, you have more broccoli. He's looking a little rough. It's because he keeps falling over. But anyway, flowers. More broccoli because that's what we eat. And then I have these spinaches. I've never done these before. I forget the name of these ones. but they're tasty. We already picked leaves off some of these ones. Lavender, thyme. We cut this in half and put some in the polytunnel, so I'm not sure if it's still alive or dead. And mint. That's just our barbecue. Here's our compost, not so glamorous looking, but it does the job. Getting ready for next year. Over here is where we plan for the peas, but we planted them twice, but I'm not sure if something's eating them, but they don't seem to be germinating. So I have ones growing inside the greenhouse, and I'll plant them out when they're a bit bigger. But we're hoping they still come true, because I put a lot in here. Maybe it's a bird or a mouse, not sure. And that takes us into the polytunnel. I got this off Amazon for, I think it was €80, which is a great deal, to be honest. The ones in the shop were half the size and the same price. It's a little bit of a mess, but what can we do? So I have more strawberries. This is the asparagus. This is the second year, which is pretty cool. I can't wait till it gets a lot bigger. We might have to extend this because it says it needs a lot of space, and by the look of this, that's not enough space for it. But it's pretty cool to see it actually resemble asparagus. Then we have elephant garlic in the middle and rhubarb. I've never used elephant garlic, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. But the rhubarb's really nice. We already used some. And then the strawberries. We're actually getting some strawberries here. So that's pretty cool. And then we have our courgettes here. We already have a small one. Then another flower. So let's see. These were deadly last year. We got so many. I'm not sure if the spacing is great. That's what we're going with. Here is where I have some of the peas. They're going and they're safe because the lid's on them. And then we've more carrots in there. My sunflowers, tomatoes, grape plant. We've two here. So it's going to go all the way around, hopefully. And the thermometer. And I just have more flower seedlings. Hoping everything goes okay. And garlic. More garlic, normal garlic. The elephant garlic is this here. You can see the difference. Then I got this garlic, or this grape plant from my granddad. So I have this up here. So hopefully it's nice. And that's it. So in a few months, in here is going to be booming. And it's going to be so cool. And the tomato plants will hopefully get bigger and bigger. Last year we had so many that we didn't know what to do with them. So that's pretty nice. Here's our two apple trees here. We have a DIY line as well. Has to be done. I love them flowers. And this ivy's taken up the wall. Have some nettles here. And we have some in a bucket with water to make some fertilizer for the veg. We did that last year and it worked well. I love these, whatever these are. If anyone knows, let me know. We get blackberries off these a bit later in the season. And this stuff down here grows back so quick. But we made a wee pathway. And that's it. I've more plans to plant stuff out, and once stuff are ready, I'll make some more videos and keep these updated on how it's going. But that's the garden so far, and I've so many ideas and that, but it'll just take time. There's Rocky.
She moves like a map with no borders, a whisper caught in the wind. I see her boots at the corner cafe, with a notebook and a grin. She's chasing skies I've never named, while I stay in my lane. But something in the way she moves keeps pulling at my chain. Oh, traveler, you carry the sun in your stride, leaving behind what I hold inside. If I don't ask your name today, I may never get the chance to walk beside your wandering dance. She hums a tune I've never heard, in languages I can't speak. She writes down cities on her wrist, and dreams she'll never keep. I sip my coffee, miss my cue, still anchored by my fear. But time rolls on like open roads, and soon she won't be here. Oh, traveler, you carry the sun in your stride, leaving behind what I hold inside. If I don't ask your name today, I may never get the chance to walk beside your wandering dance. Maybe next year in Madrid, or on some quiet mountain ridge, I'll see you turn and I'll be brave. But what if courage comes too late? Oh, traveler,